Hello, my name is Ron Whitlock of Ron Whitlock Reports, and today we're doing a RW Reports, our YouTube channel and radio podcast. We have with us Texas State Senator Eddie Lucio. Senator Lucio, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
It's been a long time. Tony Knapp, también. It's been a long time. I think it was KVEO, New Center 23. Last time we had Tony Knapp, and Tony Knapp is now the Political Science Emeritus Dean. No. What exactly are you? Tell the audience very quickly.
I'm an Emeritus professor at UTRGV.
Okay, well that's pretty good. That's pretty good. He's going to kind of let us understand exactly what has happened, because we have a transformation of South Texas and the economy and job creation par excellence by virtue of the fact that appropriator Henry Cuellar, Congressman, District 28, provided about $17 million exactly, and that particular $17 million started off with the Port of Port Mansfield being dredged 17 feet, historic depths into the main harbor, and 23 feet going to South Padre Island. What does that mean, Senator and Tony? It means that now ocean-going barges and ships can come into the waterport of Port Mansfield. Okay, that being said, the port director, Ron Mills, of the Port of Port Mansfield, now is predicting, by virtue of the billion-dollar companies, Texas companies coming into the port saying they want to build million-square-foot warehouses at the Port of Port Mansfield in its 400-acre industrial park adjacent to the airport and to the port. What's that mean? Well, it means that $250 million is expected and anticipated to be spent on infrastructure and job creation in the poorest county in the state, your district, Willacy County, and Port Mansfield. So what happens now, Tony and Senator? It means that the poorest county in your district and the whole state of Texas is now going to be the center point for commerce going inland, up to and including Starr County, where I was with Congressman Henry Cuellar at the Roma International Bridge and telling him and Eloy Veta, the county judge, that we're going to need to have 1.5 million square foot warehouses there that work in collaboration with 1 million square foot warehouses at the Port of Port Mansfield. Water port, land ports, product services coming out of Mexico, coming across, getting on a truck, coming to Port Mansfield, other things going from here up there. Also, that includes Laredo. Where's Laredo? That's also in Congressional District 28, currently under the tutelage of Henry Cuellar on appropriations, the only Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee in the Washington, D.C. Also, third, Bexar County. Here comes Bexar County. Watch out. Bexar County also going to need 1.5 million square foot warehouses at Port San Antonio. So trucks can go from Port Mansfield all the way to San Antonio and Bexar County, or it can be airborne from the Port of Port Mansfield's airport up to Port San Antonio, which is the old Kelly, I think, Air Force Base. And so we have all those things going on. All because Congressman Henry Cuellar, about 3-4 years ago, time flies when you're having fun, provided, upon my request on behalf of the people of that poorest county in the state and the Willacy County Navigation District, now we got all that stuff going on because jobs are going to be created and so forth. Problem: what if Congressman Cuellar loses on May 24th and you don't go and vote for Henry Cuellar that I have endorsed in 2016, 2018, 2020, and now 2020. So this is 4 times I've endorsed Henry. This isn't the first time, and I really didn't care about who was running against him because he was doing the job of making things happen. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to say hello to my good friend Henry Cuellar. Congressman and I go back to 1987. We were state representatives together. He served Laredo. He represented Laredo. I represented Brownsville at that time in the House of Representatives, and I followed his career. It's been a stellar career, and one that we cannot ignore in terms of the importance of the position that he holds right now and what he is capable of doing to make sure we continue to move forward on all projects that are important to us, especially the one in Port Mansfield. I know that many hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs will be created in the near future once we get that project complete. But it's going to take someone with seniority, someone that knows how to work with both sides of the aisle, someone that's not a bomb thrower, for lack of a better term, someone that respects, men and women from every corner of the country to come together and try to address the issues that we all have, not only in Texas but throughout the country. Henry Cuellar is a master at that, including our international neighbors who play an important role in the future, right now and in the future. Our number one trading partner, and let's face it, Texas, the coast here in Texas, is one of the most important coasts anywhere in the world, and it's the third coast of the United States. And it's going to be a coast that's going to be frequently visited by many vessels because of what has happened in the Panama Canal and for other reasons. So I urge people who are listening and who are going to be seeing this film in the next few days to understand the importance and the gravity of the elections that are going to be taking place. Right now, quite frankly, congressmen should be serving 4 years. I don't know why we're still having them run every 2 years. They don't have a chance to do more work because they're out there campaigning. So I'm hoping that we can change that in the future. And Congressman, thank you for all that you've done over the years. It's immeasurable.
May 24th, that's election day, and that's the day that people in Zapata, in Zapata, is Zapata in your district?
It is.
Yeah.
Zapata, I'm sorry that I'm losing Hidalgo County. Hidalgo County is very special. So I'll be representing Hidalgo County to the end of the year. As you know, this was a change made by the state legislature. And so I'm sorry that I'm gonna lose Hidalgo, but I'm still going to go there. And I still want to help Hidalgo, the Valley, Cameron County in any way I can. Because as you know, I'm the only Democrat from the state of Texas in the House Appropriations, and I certainly want to make sure I advocate for everybody, especially the border area. Let me say something. First of all, thank you for the invitation, for allowing me here. But I have to say something about my special friend, Eddie Lucio. Eddie and I go back a long way, like I said a few minutes ago. We started together as state representatives, and Eddie's a dear friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, and we've known each other. I think we met in 1986 as member-elects with Larry Warner, with Renato Cuellar, myself, and so we went up to Austin as freshmen. And ever since that, I saw something very special about Eddie Lucio. And again, Eddie, I know you won't be there as a state senator, but you did a heck of a job as a state rep and as a senator. And people understand, people get it, and we appreciate all the good work that you have.
Thank you very much, Congressman. I want to thank you for that. But I just want to ask you one question. Did Speaker Gib Lewis ever learn how to pronounce Cuellar? Because there was two of you, Henry Cuellar from Laredo and Renato Cuellar from Whitlock, and he used to refer to both of you as Cellular 1 and Cellular 2 back then. And I'm still laughing because I don't see how anyone could not pronounce the name Cuellar. So anyway, we appreciate you, Henry. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You're right. Former Speaker Gib Lewis will call Renato myself Cellular 1 and Cellular 2. And I would always tell Renato, may he rest in peace. I might be number 1 one or I might be number two, depending on what the issue was on that. But again, Eddie, it's always a pleasure. I look forward. In fact, one of the last times you and I were together, we met Pope Francis, and we were in Rome, and we prayed together, and
That's
we
right.
we walked up and we crawled on our knees. We went up there on one of the churches, and again, I want to thank you for your strong religious beliefs that you have, Eddie. So thank you for giving me that blessing to spend time with you at the Vatican with the Pope. So again, we're here to talk again a little bit about economic development and ports of entry, whether they're seaports or whether they're land ports or airports. They're so important because every day trade between the U.S. and Mexico is every 1 minute there's $1 million of trade every single minute between the U.S. and Mexico. Texas is the number one trading partner with Mexico of all the 50 states. So we understand why trade is important. So we certainly, in the approach, I certainly want to support airports, but especially land ports and the seaports that we have, like the one we have in South Texas. So count me, even though I don't represent that area, but count me as a friend. And we worked with a delegation, especially Senator Forney, in a bipartisan way, and with our friend Senator Lucio also, to make sure we got funding. And as the senator said, once this is developed, you're going to see economic development. You're going to see jobs are being created. And any great country has to have trade. And certainly here in the state of Texas, we understand the importance of trade, the two-way trade that we have.
Congressman Cuellar, do you realize the impact that you have had on Port Mansfield with that original $17 million appropriation that you came up with after I made a trip up to D.C. and talked to you and also Senator Cornyn about the fact that we needed to dredge that port so desperately? That money came in 5 weeks. You don't get money out of D.C. in 5 weeks, but you came up with it. Now we're looking at $250 million in projected economic activity and warehouses being built at the Port of Port Mansfield. And those are going to have 500,000 square foot warehouses in Laredo, in Webb County, in Starr County, Rio Grande City, in Roma, and at the Port San Antonio and Bexar County, all in your district. All because of an original $17 million that you came up with. Amazing, transformational, job creation, unbelievable.
Well, thank you so much, Ron. I'm just part of the team. I'm a small part of the team, working with both state officials and local officials and federal officials. I'm just part of the team. I just want to do my part in this effort. Economic development, as you said, it's going to have it's going to be done there. It's going to have a ripple effect. And as that waves of economic development goes from the port out into the inland and to the cities and the counties that you mentioned, that will create jobs. And some of the, one of the things we notice, anytime there's a recession, look at what are the jobs that usually keep going at the end or the last ones to be hit. Those are the ones involved in international trade. So when we create jobs that are related to international trade, transportation, logistic, freight forwarding, custom brokerage, either direct or indirect jobs. What that means is that you're going to have a strong foundation, because when there's a recession, trade is one of the last ones that's impacted, and it's usually one of the first ones that bounces back when we're getting out of recession. So in the pandemic, we talked about the supply chain. And maybe we saw that in LA, but in Texas, our people kept working. The supply chain kept going, and that says a lot about the state of Texas. And also, if you look at the private jobs that were created this last month, you know who was the number one creator? The state of Texas, and that's because we got leaders at the local basis. At the local level, leaders like Eddie Lucio, federal colleagues working together with our state partners, and Texas has been the number one creator of jobs in the country, and that's because a lot of it because of trade.
Congressman Cuellar, you mentioned working with across the aisle and working with Senator Cornyn and all of those things that you and Senator Lucio have just discussed. That's an anathema to the people who are opposing you with all these big, giant TV budgets that have been funding the TAC ads in San Antonio that I saw last weekend when I was in San Antonio and are seeing here in the Rio Grande Valley. Have you been able to withstand the nationally funded attacks on you? Are you confident?
When you look at the, we feel very confident about this race, and we're going to keep working on it. Look, when you look at OpenSecrets.com, you will see that my opponent's money, 99% of it, 99% of it comes outside the district. 99% of our money comes out of the district.
Something on
when you look at the endorsements that she has all this, a few senators, a few congresswomen that are outside the state of Texas. I got 171 local public officials from my district that are endorsing me, including the national leaders like Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, Clyburn, Hakeem, the chairman of the Black Caucus, the chairman of the Hispanic Caucus. They all support me. And I'd rather get not only those national leaders, but the leaders that are here, the local public officials, because I think this decision needs to be made by the people of South Texas. And that's very important. The final thing is this thing about bipartisanship. I support bipartisanship very much because, unfortunately, somebody in Washington has come up with a standard that you have to agree with me 100%. Somebody came up with that standard, and whether you're married or you have a spouse or a partner, you can't agree with anybody 100%. There's just no way. In fact, Abe Koch, the former mayor of New York, once said, if you agree with me 7 out of 10 times, you vote for me. And if you agree with me 100% of the time, then you need to go see a therapist. That was a quote that was used by the former mayor of New York City. I follow, and I think Eddie Lucio does the same thing because he's very bipartisan also. The words of President LBJ when he said, I'm an American, I'm a Texan, and then I'm a Democrat. And I think that applies. That's the order that we need to apply. We don't go up there. I'm a Democrat, but I don't go vote the party over there. I vote for the district. What's wrong with Washington, D.C. is that some people just want to vote 100% with the Democrat Party or 100% with the Republican Party. And if you do that, then no wonder we have divided government. No, we go represent the best interest, and that's why I've been attacked, and I will stand on my principles on that.
Senator Lucio wants to make a comment in that regard also, something you said earlier.
I want everybody to take a careful note of what Congressman Cuellar's opponent is saying, that she is receiving fresh money. That really is not fresh money. To me, it's blood money, because a lot of that money is being donated to her because she is pro-choice and she supports abortion in this country. And Henry, I just, from the very bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for being pro-life and for giving these unborn children a chance to live. No one has the right to destroy God's creation, and your opponent is taking all that blood money, some of it, I'm sure, coming from Planned Parenthood, and a lot of it, if used to foster abortion, will be going back to Planned Parenthood as they continue to abort our children in those facilities. I can't stress that enough. Our values are most important. For 173 years, it was a mortal sin and against the law to have an abortion in this country of ours. Then all of a sudden, they get the Supreme Court gives women in this country a constitutional right to destroy God's creation. I hope that is overturned as quickly as possible, and I applaud those that support that to happen. So thank you so much for all that you do. I follow the Texas Conference of Bishops as you do, and the United States Conference of Bishops, and it's important for us to get the morals back in the homes of all Americans. We are an American family. My dad preached Americanism and patriotism every day of his life to us. But he and my mother taught us what your mother and father taught you, to respect life. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Congressman. Keep up the good work.
Congressman Cuellar, how confident are you of winning on May the 24th?
Yes, I feel very confident. We have an amazing campaign team, volunteers, all the way from San Antonio, Guadalupe, Atascosa, McMullen, Webb County, Zapata, Star, Jim Hug, and Duval. So we feel very confident about winning this race. But again, we got one more day of voting, May 24th. So I'm asking folks to please come out to vote. Como dicen en español, el voto es su voz. And that's why it's so important that people go out to vote. And on that note, I want to say thank you so much. I have to keep campaigning, but I want to say, Senator, it's always a pleasure. Good seeing you, and please send my best to your family, to your son, to your family. Thank you for all the public service that you provided. Ron, I want to say thank you so much for providing this forum. And with that, I say thank you, and God bless you, and we'll see you very soon after the victory.
Good luck, Henry.
Good luck, Henry. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
As a disclaimer, Ron Whitlock Reports endorsed Henry Cuellar in 2016, 2018, again in 2020, and again this year, 2022, because of what he has done in Willacy County, poorest county in the state of Texas, not in the district of Henry Cuellar, but he came up and appropriated that $17 million to get everything started, up to $250 million expected in economic activity and infrastructure construction over the next 24 months. That's a 2-year period. If Henry Cuellar would be defeated May 24th, if you don't go to the polls in Star, Zapata, or Webb, or Bexar County and re-elect Henry Cuellar, then the fear is that all of this economic activity will be stalled because he will be lost in a time when he is needed more desperately than possibly at any other time. Amazing, isn't it? And 117 million, now to a quarter of a billion expected, and that could spread, ironically now, to his district in San Antonio, Starr County, and Webb County. Isn't that amazing how God works? From the poorest county in the state, $250 million. Second poorest county in the state, Starr, now it's going to get its largesse and its symbiosis component of this water port and land ports. Water ports, land ports, San Antonio, Bexar County, Port San Antonio with a port and trucking. Also can go back and forth. So that's how it works in a time when supply side problems are pretty bad, huh? And we're looking at the financial situation the country has.
It's amazing, Ron, what we can do with people with seniority in Congress who really want to make a difference and create a better quality of life for communities in South Texas that have not seen the light of day, and this would be a major game changer for Starr County, for Willacy County, and other parts of the southernmost tip of Texas. So I hope that people will understand the gravity of this campaign. It is also one that we have a congressman that respects the sanctity of life, And nothing could be more important to me as a human being who loves God's creation, to see him continue to do the good work he has done along those terms as well. We're depending on him. We're praying. I will be going to Mass today and having a rosary in the morning here in the valley for Henry and for two other candidates that I'd like to help out in prayer.
I'd like to bring in now a fellow that has been so special to me and to the program over the years, predominantly KVEO, when we were provided time to serve the community by that NBC affiliate in Brownsville. Now we have reached out to Tony Knapp because Tony can put a bow and a ribbon around this package that's been created and been discussed already. And so it's really phenomenal that you're here, Tony. I appreciate you taking time off from all of your travels and time that you're spending now that you're semi-retired and putting you back to work. Chairman Emeritus of Political Science at UTRGV. Tell us what this would mean, what it means to keep Henry, why it's important to keep Henry at this point from a political science perspective economically, not politically, but economically, and also what could happen, could all this transformation economically be stalled if he is suddenly taken out of that position to be able to just appropriate money in 5 weeks and that sort of thing.
Well, that's of course a big issue here. His opponent would not be able to provide that kind of support, that kind of economic development for South Texas, because she'd be in no position to. She would lack the seniority, lack the influence, lack the ability, lack the knowledge to be able to deliver the way he has. He's positioned to continue to allocate funds here into South Texas for economic development, and his opponent would not be able to.
Pure and simple. That's it. Not very glamorous, but just stated in a factual manner.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
But it's a serious issue.
But it is a possibility if folks
That's right.
in Bear and Webb and Star and the Zapata counties and all those counties up between Star and Webb don't get out and vote. May 24th, Election Day. That's the date that folks are going to have to understand. I'm the endorser. We are reaching out to the congressman's opponent in this race. We're going to offer her time to respond. That's what we do and have done for over 50 years in broadcasting. So we're reaching out to her with audio of this program today, a radio podcast, as it were, on also RW Reports YouTube channel. So we're going to be reaching out to those folks. The opponent for Congressman Henry Cuellar, or House of Representatives District 28 for Texas. And so we'll know if she responds, you will hear from her here on RW Reports YouTube channel and radio podcast. This is Ron Whitlock. I'm going to offer the senator anything else you'd like to say before we say adios? Anything else, Tony? He got up pretty light here today, just about a 2-minute commentary, and that was it.
The less I say, the better.
Thank you so much, Tony, for coming
Ron.
and being with us today. Senator Eddie
God bless
Lucio,
you.
still working hard for the district. This has been Ron Whitlock Reports, known as RW Reports /YouTube. That's our YouTube channel, RW Reports. And our RW Reports, or Ron Whitlock Reports radio podcast. So, vote for Henry Cuellar, May 24th, for re-election as the only Texas member of the House Appropriations Committee in Washington, D.C., and brings home the bacon just like Kika did. Till next time, adios.